Good morning, everyone. This week's Torah portion discusses the formation of the journeys of the Jewish people in the desert, how the Mishkan, the tabernacle, was in the center of the camp, and on each of the four sides, east, west, north, and south, 3 tribes rested and encamped and journeyed. And there was a choreographed formation in which they journeyed, and each tribe was positioned next to a particular tribe, and each of the 12 tribes had their own individual flag and banner for their tribe. And when the Torah finishes describing how the Jewish people journeyed, the Torah concludes by saying that the Jewish people followed all of Moses' instructions about how to journey in the wilderness. And the question is, why does the Torah have to emphasize that they followed Moses' instructions how to journey in the camps and their particular encampments? Obviously they followed Moses' instructions. If the Torah highlights it, it means that they deserve particular praise for it. Why? And the answer perhaps is everyone who's ever organized a dinner, a fundraiser, a gala for an organization knows that one of the difficult things is figuring out the seating arrangements. Who's going to sit next to whom, and at which table, and in which location in the ballroom. And unfortunately, many times, people are upset. I wasn't put at the right table, I wasn't sitting with the right people, I wasn't in the right section of the room, my table was all the way in the back, and people are offended. And so therefore the Torah says that the tribes of Israel followed Moses' instructions. Wherever Moses told them they should be positioned next to whichever particular tribes, they followed. They didn't say, why am I not on the east? Why am I on the west? Or some other complaint. Because they understood what the Talmud tells us. The Talmud says, Lo mikomo shel adam mechabdo, ela adam mechabed et mikomo, which means it's not the location or the position that a person is in that honors them, but it's they that bring honor to their location. Many times people think if I'm seen with the right crowd, at the right table, the right position in the ballroom, or wherever it is in life, metaphorically, that will bring honor, prestige, importance, self-worth, and value to myself. The Talmud says, no, it's not the location that honors you. It's you that brings honor to the location. If a person is a person of value, a person of virtues, a person of substance, quality, prestige, they bring honor to the location, but the location can never honor you. No matter where you're put, or you're positioned, or with whom you associate with, if you don't have intrinsic worth, the location cannot bring honor to you. Tell a story about this great Torah scholar, Rabbi, who came to a town. He was not renowned in that town. No one knew who he was. He arrived as a poor man, and no one invited him for Shabbat. So Friday night he's in the synagogue. A poor man comes up to him and says, listen, I see you need a place to eat. Come join me. I'd love to have you. I don't have much, but whatever I have, I'm happy to share it with you. The man went. He had a beautiful Shabbat with his host. A number of years later, he returned to the same town, but this time he was already renowned as the great scholar and teacher and rabbi, and he came with a coachman, with a prestigious coach, with white horses. When he came to town, everyone was so honored that this great, renowned, revered rabbi arrived in their town. And the richest man in town, the president of the community, sent a message to him, you're welcome to come. I would like you to be my guest for Shabbat in my home. And the rabbi sends a message back to the rich man saying, here are my white horses. They can be your guest for Shabbat. The rich man was insulted. He was offended. He went to the rabbi. He said, I invite you to my home for Shabbat. This is the way you treat me. You send me the horses and say they should be my guest for Shabbat. And the rabbi said, let me explain it to you. I arrived in this town a number of years ago. You didn't invite me. Nobody invited me. He says, now I come back and I get the invitation to stay in your beautiful home. And I asked myself, what's the difference? I'm the same person who arrived here a number of years ago. And I realized the only thing that changed was the last time I came by myself. Now I came with white horses. So obviously what you're impressed with is my white horses. So if you are so impressed with my white horses, you could have my white horses for Shabbat. I'm going to go back and spend Shabbat with the poor man. And this is such a powerful lesson. Sometimes we think it's the car we drive, or the house we live in, or the friends we associate with, or the clubs we belong to that lends us our dignity and our self-worth and self-importance. Or maybe the clothing we wear. So the Torah says, no, you must bring honor to your location. Your location can never honor you. Have a wonderful day.